I love you too.
Someone should say it in West.
I don't love you.
So welcome to day 2 of Scotland. How are you? Oh, what's this?
Oh, hi.
What on earth, DC?
This is a DC Douglas doll. Given to me by a lovely lady. He's wearing Crocs. I wear Crocs usually. And he's got a pathetic goatee that's not really fully formed, like mine. And yeah, there you go. Just wanted to share that. My DC Douglas doll.
I'm speechless.
You've got blonde in it. Yeah. No, but you've got a lot of blonde, so that's why it looks
by the way, not
scraggly.
blonde. That is the dye for wearing off because it's actually all gray. Because I'm old. Where is she? She's the one who made my DC Douglas doll.
Where are you? Where's the lady that made the DC Douglas doll? Stand up, then. Give her a round of applause. She showed some creativity. She deserves some respect. There we go. Wow. I'm very impressed. Next year, if you come back, she'll bring a talking one. She's going to work on it.
And then I'm out of work. Right.
So, how have you found, both of you, your trips to Glasgow?
I thought Courtenay sucked, but my trip was great.
Where? Who's next? Where? What? I see no children. Are there any children here? Hold on. Is there anyone under 18? Raise your hand. Damn. Okay.
I mean, it's the UK. Anybody under 16? Oh yeah! Oh, you ruined it for everybody.
I think you're all fine, aren't you?
That's right. I'm going to try not to have a potty mouth, but I can't say I won't have a potty finger.
I'm not going to ask how you use your finger when you potty.
It's been very long. It's been a very long convention. No, it's been awesome. I had a great time. Glasgow's lovely, and we brought the great weather with us.
You did indeed.
You can thank us for that.
California
Straight
sunshine.
California, baby.
So say, we've got to get some props, by the way, to this gentleman here, this Wesker gentleman, because we had a chat with him earlier, DC, because I've seen him all weekend, and he has not once broken character and smiled or laughed, no matter how funny it's been. Even when you were hilarious, he didn't break, either of you, he did not break character. So I think we should give him a round of applause? Now Wesker's cheering her, there you go. Sorry. Oh yeah, by the way, he's friends with Google, who said he's sorry he couldn't be here.
Right, I saw that when I went online. So I went to Google and it said, sorry, I'm not there.
Sorry. Anyway, if you have a question, please feel free to ask, and I'll put my hand... Oh, straight away, look. Right. Thanks. Meaning. Right.
For both of you, DC, what was your reaction to Legion dying to help save the Geth? And
spoilers!
Courtenay, if you had the chance to be any character, who would it be?
So my reaction was WTF. No, well, actually, I tell you, it's like, I mean, he died, spoiler alerts again, he dies in both 2 and 3, so, and actually in 3 we recorded like several different death scenarios for the different versions of Legion. In fact, one where he actually turns around like grabs him by the neck and all. But so it was like, you know, I was used to it in the recording thing, but when I saw the finished product with all the production value and all that, I was like, oh my God, this is sad. It was like, it affected me. I was really surprised. I imagine if I was invested all those hours into gameplay, it would be even that much more effective for all of that. So I can see why people like, oh, I love Legion, and basically what they're saying, they miss Legion, so, which is sweet. But Legion's here in our hearts, always.
That's a tough question, because I love Jennifer Hale's performance as Femme Shep. She was amazing. So I'm drawn to it, but I wouldn't want to attempt it. So probably Morton. I like Morton. I don't know. Morton or Grant, because I love Grant as well, so. It's hard to, they're all so good, you know.
I would say you suit Arya, because you both have the same motive. Don't
again?
fuck with Arya.
Right, I have a question for you, gentlemen.
What is your favorite character to play in your roles?
Your favorite as in like archetype?
Or character.
Well, favorite character to play. That's like saying what's your favorite character, I guess, that you've played. Sorry, I'm just catching up. My body was on a plane. I would, so many different, every character's got something that you love and something, there's always something with everything almost. So it's hard to just pick one out of all of them. I mean, Wesker brought a great fan base. Legion is very touching and easy to perform straight out of bed. And Azrael was one I did recently on Blaze Blue that was fun because it was all violence and sex combined. And one I've done recently that, actually I can't say this, it's on the video game called The Crew that's coming out.
That's gonna be a good one.
That was a fun character because it was very cinematic and it's a boss, another boss. But he's got a slight southern drawl and all that, so that was kind of cool to do. So I mean, there's so many different reasons for each character, so it's hard for me just to pick one.
I liked playing, obviously Jack was a hell of a ride, but I also, I got to play Arwen in Lord of the Rings, War in the North, which was a bit of a stretch for me. It was something I wouldn't normally, it's not roll out of bed playing, and also there's a video game called Dead to Rights Retribution. I don't know if you guys know who Nancy Grace is. Does anyone know who Nancy Grace is? Okay, so she's a psycho, right? She's a psycho Southern prosecutor.
I would applaud that.
And I walked in and they were like, "Do you know who Nancy Grace is? Because this is who this character is going to be." And it's this psycho reporter from the South who's just completely obsessed with herself. And her name is Marla Bales. It's been a while, but she was awesome because. I'm obsessed with Nancy Grace.
Yeah, that would be a fun.
I am obsessed with Nancy Grace. She's terrifying. So that was really fun.
I have a question for the lady here.
That's why I'm here.
That's right.
For the children and the
because
raisins.
I'm a crime victim.
A question for this lady.
I just wanted to ask, who's your favourite gift the fans gave you, apart from the doll?
Yeah,
Apart from the doll, yeah, because nothing really tops the doll. Favorite gift? The gift of friendship. Yeah, actually I can go with that. Yeah, that's my answer. It's my final answer. Yes, you can do that.
I am always thrilled by Mass Effect fans in particular. Seem to do amazing artwork. So I love it. Even just being here, I've seen so many different styles of Jack. So I really love being able to have people either come up and either give it to me or just show me what they're doing. I love to see it online. There's a guy who, he didn't give it to me yet, but there's like a 6-foot paper mache light up Jack that plays music online. You can look it up on DeviantArt. That's the one I want, but all of them are fantastic.
And we have a question for this young lady here.
Yeah. What do you think about how your characters developed from Mass Effect 2 to 3 personality, if they got to survive, that is?
I was exceedingly happy. You may not know, but the guy who originally wrote Jack in Mass Effect 2 left BioWare before 3 came out, and so I was, I wanted to see what would happen. And also, there was the trap with Jack to be really sort of one-dimensional with her, that she was just an anger ball all the time. And so I loved what Brian did when he wrote her for 2, and that he did give her backstory. I read the boards, which is a huge mistake. If you think we don't read the boards, we do. But you shouldn't, because, yeah. So I read the boards before the game came out, and there was a huge negative reaction to the way that this aspect of Jack. And right around when the game was coming out, people were like, when I get that game, I'm gonna shoot her out the airlock. I hate her already. She's ugly, all this stuff. And it was really gratifying to come back to the boards the other time that I looked at them and have people say, like, I was ready to hate this character. And, my mind was changed. And I think that was mostly because of Brian's great writing. And then I loved the fact that they gave her they didn't sacrifice who she was. In 3, she's still a badass. She's still funny. She still has great lines. But they gave her a pet, a rescue pet. There was this opportunity for you to see who Jack might have been if Jack hadn't had Jack's life. If she hadn't had all the bad stuff happen to her, and so I loved that they wrapped it up like that. Long answer, sorry.
The Legion thing was interesting because I said this yesterday, so sorry if I'm redundant to everybody. Spoiler alerts in 2. If you let him die in 2, then when you run into him again in 3, you've got the very cold version of Legion. If you let him live, then you have the warm version of Legion. So that was actually the most interesting thing about doing 3, was doing a scene and then doing the dialogue for the one version, then doing dialogue for the other version, and then doing neutral dialogue that would be used both ways. That was, I thought, pretty clever of them to do that. So yeah, that's what I liked about I didn't like the dying part. So.
It happens.
All right, I have a question for this gentleman here.
Hi. What's been the most challenging voice role you've had to take in terms of like changing your voice or meeting a certain personality trait that you might not already have?
Most challenging. It's funny. I'm usually scared shitless. Can I say shitless? Is that all right?
No.
I'm asking the people who are under 16. No. I can say shitless, right? Okay. I was scared shitless. Like this woman here going, "Wait, he really asked the kids that?" I'm always, every big job, I always I'm nervous before I go in for it. Especially sometimes because I don't even know what I'm going to be doing until I walk in there and find out what role I was cast as. For me, since I think I've got a little bit of I'm a lucky voice actor in that I don't do all the homework I'm supposed to and have all the accents ready to go and all of that. I'm afraid they're going to throw something that I can't handle when they at me, and then I'm going to have to fake it, and hopefully that faking it makes it. But I've been lucky so far. So it's usually the unknown. But once in there, the challenge, it's nothing like sticks in my mind. It's like, oh God, I can't do that, because luckily I usually get cast within my wheelhouse. So yeah, all straight answers for me today.
When we did, Ada Wong was my first matching face capture to someone else's motion capture. So that was very difficult because we don't get the scripts in advance, and the motion capture person is doing it, but you're watching it on a screen. So you're doing it in opposition and trying to pick your lines up off the page and turn, but not too much off axis because they need to see your face because it's the face capture. So that was definitely a challenge for me. That was something I had not done before. I've only done motion capture where they've grabbed my face as well. And then I am doing a new game. It's called Evolve. It's the hunting game 4 versus 1. And it hasn't been as, it's an example of a challenge vocally. If there's a ton of death screams, there's a ton of we die in all games, but throat rippers is what we call them. And so they beat you up pretty good in some of these shooting games, these military games and stuff. So physically challenging. And this is for aspiring voice actors as well. Take vocal classes, learn how to do vocal warm-ups and stuff like that, because in a 4-hour session, you might do 2 hours of screaming and you will sound like me forever.
Which is, by the way, very sexy. I would actually throw in, just made me realize this, is that actually the biggest challenge was a game that probably you guys don't know, NBA 2K14, the sports game. You know it? Yeah. Did you get the Uber agent? You stuck with your friend as your agent. Yes, screw you. You know what? You got wooed by me, though. Did you get wooed by me? Did you come into the limo and all that? Did you notice that was me? No. Oh. That was me. What was funny is they made the character look like me. They took photos of my whole face and everything, but they spent all their time and money on making all the actual NBA players look like the NBA players. So for me, they're like, one draft is good for this face, and it comes out looking like a melting Bill Pullman. What's that? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm very attractive. Anyway, but what was challenging about that was it was full mocap, so with my full body, but they have a little thing with getting my voice at the same time, and then they've got a camera right on your face with all the little dots on the face. So doing face cap and mocap, and we're doing the dialogue, and we got to improv the dialogue also. And then we've got the laser beams all around this giant studio, and you're walking around, and it's a 360-degree recording of you. And so it's like doing theater in the round, but in a close-up for a movie. and they have these monitors way up there so you can see the different cameras. And so the first time I did the first scene, we were doing the scene and all that, and then as I'm walking off, I'm going, well, that was kind of cool. Like I assumed I was off camera, and so I'm like, well, that's kind of cool in my head. And I look up, I'm completely out of character, and I see my camera in my face, and I'm like completely out of character, looking at myself, and I'm like, oh, I'm always on camera until they say end. So that was a really challenging experience, but I loved it.
And we have a question for the gentleman in the front.
I imagine this is quite a common question. I imagine you guys have played the game, Mass Effect. Out of all the squad choices, what would be the 2 you would pick with you to the end?
You have an amazing imagination, because I've never played the game. So unfortunately I can't answer that question. I see the cutscenes and they're wonderful.
God, you know what? I actually have not played the game all the way through. I suck at playing. I actually had my husband yelling at me because on the first level when you're still with Jacob, I just hunkered down behind a crate for like 5 minutes, and he's like, you have to shoot something, and I'm like, I'm thinking, leave me alone, and I just kept standing up and then crouching back down and standing up. He's like, he's gonna die. I'm like, he's fine. And so I think, I would definitely take Jack. And I would, because I feel like, if you're ever gonna bring somebody who's gonna die for you, it's probably her. Can I bring Grunt, because he's big? I'll bring Grunt, because he's big.
I have a question for this lady.
In the series, we see Callie and Legion bickering a lot, and we see Jack and Miranda sort of fighting a lot. So I was wondering, if Legion and Jack were to have a big fight, who would win?
Do you want to answer that?
No, I think Courtney should answer that one.
Me. I think Legion's pretty calm and cool and collected. So.
And if I had to sacrifice myself because it would make her happier, I would sacrifice myself.
See, I would never do that.
A question for the gentleman here.
The evolution of PlayStation 1 throughout for Resident Evil, was there any awkwardness recording the voices, or was it just as simple as say this line and that was it, done?
You're talking about which game now?
All of the Resident Evil series.
Say it again. I always want to do this, but it doesn't work.
Throughout the series, from Resident Evil 1 to 6.
Well, the voices have changed throughout that series. So, for instance, with Albert Wesker, the voice was originally Sergio Jones in the very first one. Then it was Richard Waugh, Peter Jessup. Richard Waugh came back, and then it's been me since 2007. And I know with the Ada, I think there's been a couple of voices as well.
Sally Cahill originated the role, and then she was in, I think, 2 and 4, and then I did 6, Raccoon City and Damnation.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about evolution, what have you, it's kind of funny. I would imagine there's some people who follow the Resident Evil Capcom stuff and would say, well, they don't even follow the evolution of their own game, that there's a lot of holes in the story and whatnot. So
well, I'm just meaning
technically?
Yeah, technical stuff,
Well, for me, it was, I had to, when I did, Umbrella Chronicles was the first one I did, I think it was 2007, and they played Peter Jessup's performance for me. So I was voice matching Peter Jessup as best I could, and his was very hard to do because it was like marbles in the mouth. He's a super talented guy. So I did that. Then when I got RE5, I went, oh great, I've got my Peter Jessup ready to go. And I went into the studio, and then they go, okay, so here's Richard Waugh. And they played Richard Waugh. I'm like, oh, that's a little different. So it was like a combination of those two. And then of course I'm evolving and mutating in RE5, so then it's, I want to put my own spin on it and whatnot. And then since then, I've done, several games since then as Wesker for like little smaller ones, and then Marvel vs. Capcom, that kind of thing.
So really then you just make it your own then?
Say what?
So really you just make it your own then?
Well, exactly, and then I've done these fan service videos as well, so I've probably gone a bit astray from what I did in RE5, so I'm afraid if they bring me back to life and they come in, I will start doing the voice, and they go, that's not quite what you did in RE5, I'm like, I'm telling you what I do now, I own this voice.
Well, before I hand the mic back, can I ask you to say complete global saturation in Wesker's voice?
Do you have $1? Yeah, I'll do it now. Yeah, of course you don't have $1, this is UK.
Do you have a new pair of Crocs, maybe? New pair of Crocs?
All right, you ready? What's your name?
Peter McAllister.
Whoa, what is that?
Peter McAllister.
Peter McAllister.
Thank you. I'm like getting older.
He didn't bring his ear trumpet, sorry.
All right, this one is for Peter McAllister. Because of him, I'm ensuring complete global saturation.
And a question for the gentleman next to him.
You probably get asked this a lot, but what is your favourite line? What is your favourite line in general as any character?
My favorite Ada Wong line is, Albert Wesker was a colossal imbecile. And my favorite Jack line is, take your balls out of your purse, Rodriguez, and go kick some ass.
I'm so bad I don't remember most of them. I mean, I do appreciate the "you will give me an egg," and then of course the modified version of "I require an egg." But I do find myself in daily life going pathetic. So no one sees it. There was one line in Mass Effect, and unfortunately I can't remember exactly how it goes. Maybe you guys remember. There's one where I'm referring to a modified platform. Essentially, the line is saying she's got lovely breasts, but it says Legion, so he's talking about that unit has modified mammary glands, something to that effect. But I thought was very funny. I can't remember what the line is though. Anybody here know that line that I'm talking about? So you're not real fans.
A question for this gentleman here.
This is a question for Courtney. Most of your characters have been known for either being insanely dangerous or playing crazy. Have those been always the characters you've enjoyed doing the voice for?
Are the crazy ones my favorite? Is that the question? Well, you know, it's one of those things like when you play a bad character, everyone, you know, like what's it like to play a bad character? I don't think, there are some characters that are a little more bonkers than others, but I think we're all a little crazy. And so some people just let that light shine a little bit more than others. And so I appreciate the people who maybe have had to modify some coping skills. And I like to give, what I like, and this sounds really like altruistic, but I do like to present characters that are not your typical video game women. I think it's really important to show people who look different, people who act different, and I know that when I was growing up, I had a hard time controlling my emotions and learning how to deal with my anger and learning just how to cope with things. And so I feel like those characters are a little bit closer to maybe my personal history. And I do like that. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, do you guys like to see characters that aren't like sort of your typical female things, like people that like you can relate to? Because I feel like I get a lot of feedback from people, men and women, that is like, thank you for putting this character out there. You know, that character looks like me, that character acts like me, that, you know, like obviously not with biotics and stuff. But I really appreciate that, because I get that like frustration and, you know, and again, that's why I loved Jack, is that they made her have some coping skills in the end. So, long question, long answer.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm done.
Hey, would you guys want to do a Vine with me? Yeah? I want to do because America's going to be waking up soon. I don't mean to their foreign policy, that'll never happen, but just in general, those who follow me on Twitter. And I thought it'd be really nice if you guys said good morning to them. So I'm gonna do the first part here, and then I'm gonna turn around for you guys for 1 second or so before, you know, first off. Okay, so good morning, America. Our friends here have something to say to you.
Guten Tag.
Oh, wait, let's do, okay, we gotta do it more time. Hang on.
How did we ruin it? Oh.
Take two.
So take two, so
We're super technological.
Courtenay, it'll die.
Take three.
Take three. This is like a regular session, so like, hold on, give me one more. Actor's choice.
Courtenay and I are here in Scotland.
Guten Tag.
really weird.
Why is that weird?
Because it's Scotland.
I don't know. How do you say good morning in Scottish?
Well, you gotta come to an agreement on that before you even think about independence. Jeez. How do you say good morning? Good to bed? Good to your bed? Oh, get out your bed! Get out your bed! Oh! Do y'all know get out your bed? Yeah, okay, so on the count of 3, I'm going to record this, you're all going to go, get out your bed, whatever you guys do. Alright. Speaking of that weird accent thing that you do. There's a light, there's a little light. Okay, here, no, here. Yes, this is it.
Sorry,
Ready?
DC, one thing, sorry, DC, it's not on me. Tech team, can we have the lights up in the main hall? Because that way at least you better get to see.
What a good looking crowd.
You guys ready? Now, here's a rehearsal, okay? What is it?
Get out your bed. I can say howdy coo.
3, 2, 1. That was great. We can do it one more time. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Perfect. I recorded it. Thank you. And then you can check it out at on a thing called Twitter.com. Thank you guys. That was cool.
If you could drop the lights again.
Just a little mood lighting. Candlelight. I don't know.
I have a question from this gentleman. It's your 2K14 friend.
It's not about 2K14, it's actually for Courtenay. What was your first reaction?
What'd you say about me?
None. What was your first reaction when you saw the design for Jack?
That's definitely not for me.
Beep, beep. Yeah. I grew up listening to punk rock, so I'm all about it. And so actually I don't have tattoos anymore. I was bald in high school and I had a mohawk, so I was like, I had never seen a character that even looked remotely like, I was just like, yes, is the short answer.
I have a question for a young lady here.
Where is he?
Hi.
Oh,
hi.
Okay, hi.
I was here yesterday, I'm dedicated.
Hi.
I was wondering what you guys' favourite characters are from Mass Effect and Resident Evil, apart from the ones you play.
Oh.
Definitely FemShep. I think Jennifer Hale did such a kick-ass job, and I know that generally when I ask this question, how many of you guys played Broshep? Right. How many of you guys played FemShep? And I think the true test is that she did such a great job. Like almost every guy that I know is like, oh yeah, I played FemShep. So she's very dear to my heart.
For Mass Effect, I'd have to go for Jack. I would.
Give me my I'll give you your 20. I was like, wait, give me my 20.
And for Resident Evil, that one's kind of hard, but I mean, for some reason I think it would have been fun to have done Spencer just in those scenes. But also Chris. I think
that's my answer from yesterday. You took my Chris. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll say Leon.
You know, I used to have Leon's hairdo back in 1989. I did. It had a little swoop.
Matt Mercer still has that, and it looks good on him.
Yeah, it's 2014 now.
Oh, don't put that on mine. You're gonna make Matt cry. That's not nice.
A couple of rows back, we have a gentleman here.
Oh, you made it. Hi.
Oh, I've got a question for you two. Have you ever done facial and motion capture before?
Yes.
You just arrived?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was all the way across. He was all the way across. I did the facial capture for Ada Wong, and I've done motion capture for some awesome games that I can't tell you about yet.
I did facial capture. I did facial capture for. I haven't got up in my bed yet. I did facial capture for Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5, and also for the crew. There was one session where it was different because it was no dots or anything. Literally, it was just a camera and then a computer software program. It was pretty wild. And then I did motion capture for the game that you've never heard of, NBA 2K14.
The facial capture technology is, we used to wear dots, we don't anymore. I've done facial capture for some other things, I can't remember, but yeah, they used to glue them on with eyelash glue. Then they went to like Sharpies, and now it's liquid eyeliner. Pretty soon, nada.
We have a question just across our front there. This lady.
If you had the chance, what would you change in Mass Effect in any of the games? If you had a chance to change anything in it?
Cliffhanger to where Legion obviously has to come back for 4. Self-serving, I know, but it's true.
I know. Douchey actor answer, but I would play Jack as much as they would let me play Jack. So if they ever want to do like a DLC, call me.
And stay on this side, gentlemen here.
Hello, just want to say firstly thanks for doing a great job with all the characters. Between every mission just spent so much time trying to speak to every character, so I didn't miss any of the speech options. You got that downtime in between the missions in the ship. Just wanted to know from both of you, as either Fem Shep or Bro Shep, I played Bro Shep because I thought the relationship between Garrus and Shepard, their bromance was one of my favourite things in the game ever. But who would you ship with Shepard at the end? Who's your true coupling between those two? Or, well, not those two, between Shepard and whoever. Who would you see them with at the end?
Did he just admit that he ships 2 of the male characters together?
No, I don't ship them.
I'm just trying to get, because if you did that, then it kills my joke, so...
No, just as mates, I just thought that was a brilliant relationship to watch them as friends. And
well, wait till you see them make love. It's even better.
I personally ship Shepard with Liara. I thought... I mean, you miss her out on the second, which I was a bit upset about, and the third one when she becomes a Shadow Broker, and she really comes into her own, becomes her own person, maybe inspired by her mother in the first one. I thought their relationship was absolutely brilliant, and her becoming more of a stronger person. But who do you see Shepard with at the end, if with anyone at all?
When you say ship, you mean like relationship?
Yeah, relationship.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No, I think no relationship at all. I think that is the more heroic path to take, because it takes bravery and self-reliance, and we all think that we need to get married and partner up, but you know what? It's actually not necessarily natural for us. We are serial monogamists, not just monogamous with one for our whole lives. And I just want to get that through everybody's head, okay? And now, I'll meet you at the bar. No.
Bro Shep and Legion. Why not?
Yeah, alright.
Why not?
I think it's amazing that there's no romance option with Legion. I think this is so unfair. There's the possibilities.
Go on YouTube, somebody's got to have done it, because there's some stuff on there that I was like, this is not in the game. I'm pretty sure I did not work.
I just retweeted a thing yesterday. Somebody, like, there's a gif of him dancing, but it's not the robot dance, but this is a sexy dance, like a stripper dance. It was like a Legion doing it, and it was like, wow, that turns me on.
I don't know how I feel about that. That is weird.
We'll come around, but you have to watch it first, then you see what I mean?
We have another question for this gentleman.
Hi, this one's for DC. At the end of Resident Evil 5, one of my friends thinks that Wesker retracted his head in before he got hit by an RPG like a turtle. Do you think there's any chance of Wesker coming back in any turtle form?
You know what, this is kind of a current theme in my life, because I'm in Sharknado 2 in a very short scene, but at the very end of it, it is questionable whether that alligator eats me. Yes, an alligator in Sharknado 2. I just blew your mind.
Spoiler alert. They were all going to watch that when they got home.
Yes.
And now you ruined it for them.
You don't actually have to. You can just go to my website and watch the scene. It's already there.
Because that's all that matters.
You know what? I watched it. I don't know if that's bad animation or not, but yeah, it looks like the head does go like that. I mean, eventually, go frame by frame, the missile has to go through the head, so the head has to disappear. They could have animated it going, but they didn't. Come on. It's pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I hope he's not dead, but I think that if anything, they'll go back in the timeline and do some sort of thing like that, if they ever do in the future. So, but I know everybody wants him to come back and do a thing with Jake, he and his son, like some sort of standoff between Wesker and, what's his name, Jacob, what's the character name? Jake, right, Jake. Oh, that's close. I know, but I didn't know he was my son. I was dead before he came
He's
around.
your son and he's Troy Baker, come on.
Yeah, well, yes. And Troy Baker is my son. But they want to, but the show off of them. But isn't that kind of like, you know, Star Wars-ish with the Vader and Luke?
I am your father.
Yeah,
I am your Westa.
I would think, but nobody seems to mind. All right. That's a family reunion.
Come to daddy. But first, get out of bed.
I have a question for the young person here.
I was wondering if you could give us an example of the kind of vocal warm-ups you do for the more difficult characters.
A B B B B B B B C C C C C C D D D D D D.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's it. And I'm good to go, baby.
Mine involves a lot of shrieking and screeching in my car and trying to pitch up as much as possible. So there's, my favorite is the it doesn't work. I just sound like this.
You're like, same with your neighbors. That's their favorite too when you do it.
I know, we'll leave that alone. Yeah, no, I went to, because I have vocal cord, I actually do not have vocal cord nodes anymore, but I had them for so long that I went through vocal cord therapy or whatever.
And that's one of the ones that's there.
And that's because I can't believe we're gonna talk. It's just, I don't use nasal tones at all. I'm all down in my chest all the time like that. And so in order to try and get me to pitch up a little bit, it's actually how I learned to speak up higher. This is my higher pitch. Can you tell? Yeah.
This is mine!
Yeah, I can't get that high.
And we're sort of just up here in the middle.
One day I'm gonna be a Disney princess. I'm working on it.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, all right.
Just two questions. One, Mass Effect 4. Are you? Maybe? Not necessarily as characters that you've played already, but new characters. He's going to be in Mass
Well,
Effect.
here's the way you know that if we're telling you the truth or not, because obviously we can't tell you if we are, but we can tell you if we aren't. So if I'm not in it, I'm going to tell you I'm not in it. If I am in it, I'm going to tell you I cannot confirm nor deny. And so my answer to you is, I'm not in it.
See, I don't agree with that answer. Here's the thing, is that video games take a long, long time, and sometimes they do portions of it. Like I'm working on a game right now. I've been working on it since July of last year, and we're just about halfway through with dialogue. So they, actually with Mass Effect 3, I thought that I was not in it. I thought they weren't going to bring Jack back because they called me so late in the process. But when you have a big game, sometimes you're the last one that they don't, it's, especially with Mass Effect, it's a huge world, you know what I'm saying? So, and my understanding is that it's very early in the process. So.
You never know.
You just never know, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it or anything like that, but, you know, if somebody had asked me, like, in the beginning of when they were doing Mass Effect 3, I would have been like, I would have been thinking that I wasn't in it. So, he could be on the game I'm working on in a year, and he just doesn't know it yet.
I haven't even auditioned for it yet.
That's right. He's not even born yet.
But if you want us in ME4, you can always write them and say, we really want Jack and Legion back.
I think my sense is that it's like a prequel or something. I don't know. I haven't been looking on it online, but I think it isn't the story. It's going to be something different. So there may be the same. I'm sure they'll use some of the same actors doing different characters. That's all I know.
Cool. And just on the complete opposite end of that scale, how ridiculous is the Resident Evil 5 death scene for Wesker? A volcano? Really? Come on.
Dude, it's iconic.
It's
the way you kill a really badass guy is you gotta stick him in a volcano. It's very Scientology.
Or you have an alligator eat him in a shark movie.
Right.
So there's that.
Which is just very Christian, so.
La la la.
I'm intrigued now, Connie. What would your Disney princess sound like, do you think? If you could do your own Disney... And then on the flip side to DC, what would your...
Disney princess sound like?
No, that's
yeah.
Because his Disney princess is going to be way better than mine.
He's saying yes. I was thinking more Disney prince, but I'll let you choose on that one.
You do the princess, I'll do the prince.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I feel only half a person without a man.
adjust my codpiece and I shall come and save you.